Welcome everybody, my name is Richard and this is going to be a fantastic video because it's one of our Convoy comparison tests. We're going to take these three cars and drive them side by side at the same speed, at the same time, on the same roads, which is really the only way to get an exact true comparison of the real world range and efficiency. So that's the plan. We got the Hyundai Ioniq 6 here. It will divide opinion on its looks, but it's a striking thing, promises good things, and this will be my first time driving it. So I'll get some impressions and a review on that as well. In fact, there'll probably be a second video with a full review of this car, so make sure you are subscribed. How's that going to compare to the long-standing king of these kind of efficiency tables, the Tesla Model 3 long range? It always does a fantastic job, and so it'd be really good to see just exactly how this stacks up against that. And then we have the BMW i4 40e, the rear-wheel drive version, and that again, pretty good efficiency and real world range. These should all be circa 300-mile cars. That's what the manufacturers promise us, but exactly how will they pan out in real life? Well, that's what we're going to find out. Okay, right, what have we got here? This is the Ioniq 6. This is a first edition car, so you will see later cars will have some slightly different trimmings. This has got the all black finish with the tartan interior. I think it actually looks pretty good in this combination. Like I said, the looks will divide opinion, but I think the same applies to all the cars here, and you have to applaud Hyundai for doing something a little bit different. So, the specs of this car, 54,995. We've got dual motor, we've got 77.4 kilowatt hour gross battery and about 74 kilowatt hours usable from that. It weighs 2,095 kilograms, 0 to 60, 5.1 seconds, about 325 horsepower, 600 Newton meters of torque, and 20-inch wheels. So we've got 245/40 R20 Pirelli P0s on this car. And then we have the Tesla Model 3 long range, well proven. So there's been some slightly different batteries over the years, but the latest versions have a 79 kilowatt hour gross battery pack with about 74 usable. Now, quick disclaimer, this is a 2021 car. This does have the slightly smaller battery, 75 kilowatt hours, about 69 odd usable generally. And so we'll factor that into some calculations later on, but we have done another video driving that bigger battery pack versus the older battery pack, so we do know the differences very well. Now, £51,000 for one of these now that Tesla have been reducing their prices recently. So by the time this video comes out, it'll probably be different again. But anyway, this is today. So actually the cheapest one of the cars here, plus it's actually the lightest of the cars here. So interestingly, this one here is 1,919 kilograms, 0 to 60, 4.2, 4.4 seconds, depending on where you read the data, 434 horsepower. And this is on the 18-inch wheels, the standard 18-inch wheels with the aero covers on. 235/45 R18 Michelin tyres. Its drag coefficient 0.23. BMW i4, now this is the 40e, it's the rear wheel drive version compared to the other two being four wheel drive. So let me get some numbers for you because this is the heaviest car as well, 2,125 kilograms, roughly speaking. And rear wheel drive only, we've got 0 to 60 in about 5.7 seconds, 335 brake horsepower, roughly speaking, 57,900 pounds these start from, so it's the most expensive of these cars here as well. But it has the biggest battery, 83.9 kilowatt hours gross, with about 80 claimed to be usable. So it does have the most usable batteries, and given it's less aerodynamic with a drag coefficient of 0.24 compared to 0.23, compared to 0.21, how is it actually going to stack up for its efficiency? Will that rear motor only make it more efficient? Will it not? Does the bigger battery give it more range? Will it not? We're about to find out. This is the whole point of this test. So the plan is we've about to head off and drive in Convoy, same speed, same time, and I know I've forgotten the wheels. These are on the 19-inch wheels, 245/40 R19 Michelins. Got it? All right, good. So the 20-inch wheels do cost it quite a bit of efficiency. I had an i4 M50 before with the 20s, and I found the range struggling to get to 230, 240. So I've heard good things about these. We'll see how it compares. So we've just charged at this massive bank of chargers here at the M4 services westbound. And by the way, if anyone thinks there's never availability at chargers, just have a look over here. And then over there in the other side of the car park, there's more. And then over there, there's some BP Pulse as well. So there's plenty of chargers. All driven the same distances this morning, all charged to 90%. All going to drive at the same speed at the same time. We're going to head westbound along the M4, cover some miles, and we'll start getting some really good efficiency comparisons. So let's reset the trips and head off. Okay, well, it's very nice in here. So it is pretty familiar to the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Hyundai, sorry, Ioniq 5, but it just kind of has some nicer sort of darker trimmings, I think, compared to the Ioniq 5s I've had with lighter trims, and it's got these nice seats, actually. These are good. Anyway, right, we're just about to pull away now, so let's just grab the mileage indicator in each car for the charge we've got. So this stopped charging at 90%, and then straight away it's dripped to 89, which the owner says it always does that. It always drops 1% off of that, so, okay. Right guys, I'm on 90%, except it now shows 89%, and I've got 261 miles of predicted range. What have you got, Gints, in the BMW?
I've got 90%, and that indicates 234 miles.
234 from the biggest battery car. Okay. Well, I know that will adapt its range based on how it's recently been driven. So again, this is why it's important to do this test. Andrew, what have you got in the Tesla Model 3?
I have 89% and 299 miles of range showing.
Okay, 299 miles of range. Again, that has dropped to 89% as well, but I can promise you they all charged, they stopped at 90%, so they have all been treated the same. Okay guys, let's hit the M4 westbound. Let's put a bit of miles under the belt of these cars, and I'm looking forward to trying out this Ioniq 6, see how it feels. Okay, let me explain the rules. We're going to drive at the speed limit, no hypermiling, no trying to slipstream coaches and lorries and stuff like that. Just driving these cars as you would normally. Air conditioning, climate control on, and however makes you comfortable. I'm at 19.5 degrees. And if you want to use an eco mode, you can use an eco mode as long as it doesn't restrict your driving or your climate control, as long as you can still drive comfortably in today's temperature at the speed limit. So let's go, let's see how we get. Right, okay, on the motorway now, driving at 70, climate control on, 19 degrees outside, there's a little bit of breeze, but it's a lovely dry sunny day, so shades on, let's cover some miles. First impressions of the Ioniq 6.0, it's pretty smooth, it's quite quiet, feels nice, but some more of that later on. Let's get to know it a little bit better. Okay, I'm at 70 miles per hour on cruise control in Hyundai. The Tesla there, I'm going ever so slightly quicker, and the BMW is going ever so slightly slower again. So the Hyundai 70 is slightly quicker than the Tesla 70 and the BMW 70, if that makes sense. Again, important why these side-by-side comparisons are so good, because we're doing exactly the same speed no matter what the car displays. There we go. 50 miles covered. I'm keen to see what battery percentages everyone's got. So in the Hyundai Ioniq 6, I've got 72% battery remaining. I've covered 51 miles now. Gins, in the BMW, what's your battery percentage? Gins doesn't want to give it to me. Gins, in the BMW, what's your battery percentage after 51 miles? Alright, Soja Gins. Andrew, what's your battery percentage after 51 miles?
It is currently at 71%, 241 miles of range.
Ooh, I've got 72%. There we go. Gins, can you hear us? What have you got in the BMW? And we'll never know. His radio's broken or something, or he's turned it off, or I don't know.
Please say the POI name or address you want to find.
Cheltenham.
2 results found. Please say the line number.
1.
Do you want to be guided to this place? 2 results found. Please say the line number. Please say the POI name or address you want to find.
Cheltenham train station.
30 results found. Please say the line number.
Navigate to Cheltenham station.
Sorry, I did not understand you. Please say the line number. Please say the
sat-nav in the Ioniq 6. Ah, Hyundai, come on Hyundai, do some sat-nav. Right, let's try again. Right, navigate to Cheltenham train station.
20 results found. Please say the line number.
Well, I can't say the line number because all I can see is, whilst I'm driving, 4 bits that say Cheltenham Ashchurchford, Gloucester.
Sorry.
That sounds nothing like it. Toddington not. So none of them are Cheltenham Station, Hyundai. What am I meant to do with you?
Sorry, I still did not understand you.
Yeah, this is the problem. You're not understanding.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
Andrew, can you press in the Tesla the right-hand scroll wheel and say navigate to Cheltenham train station?
Yes, I can.
And it just works, yeah?
Looks like it, yeah.
Very good. So I have to say, the navigation Hyundai, it looks pretty primitive. It doesn't seem to find many company names, places of interest. The navigation, if I say something like Cheltenham train station, doesn't find it, doesn't give me an option to see even anything like it. So as I'm driving, I want to navigate to somewhere, I can't really put it in very easily at all, which is annoying, unless I sit here keying in the keypad, and the screen is there, so I have to kind of go like this and I'm driving. Although the autopilot system is actually very good, so I do trust that that's got my eye on the road. But yeah, it's behind the others, that's for sure. I don't think I'm really getting the efficiency I was expecting out of this Ioniq 6 so far. It's been gradually creeping up, but one thing you do want to know is you've got these adjustable paddles here which adjust the regen from level 0 like a coasting mode, so I lift off like this and it just kind of coasts. And then you can increase it to 3, and then you can go to I-pedal. Now when you go to I-pedal, and you probably can't see the graphic from here, it engages the front motor, so for drive, and then presumably and for regen as well. Yeah, it looks like both. But when you come off of that, and you're just on level 3, 2, or 1 or 0, it just seems to use the rear motor. So I'm just going to try a couple of different things here and see if I can see anything that I'm doing. Maybe I don't use the autopilot, don't use the HDA, Highway Drive Assist program. Just drive manually, maybe try the coast mode a bit more, try and just coast manually and drive and see if I can get slightly better efficiency, because it should be better. Yeah, it's going to struggle against the Tesla here, that's for sure. Oh, now we're into 50 miles an hour speed limit, so alright, that should be more efficient, shouldn't it? 70 miles per hour. Look how quiet it is in here. It's very good. It's quite a nice bit of tarmac. It's about to change. Even on that tarmac, slightly coarser. Very quiet. It's nice. Nice. BMW i4 is pretty quiet. This is good. Good cruiser. Okay guys, just at our first stopover point, we're going to have some lunch in a second, so let's get your efficiency, percentage and remaining range. Right, so let's start off with the BMW. What you got?
I got 54% left in the battery at 151 miles of range and at 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour.
Okay, I'll go next because I've also got 54% of the battery, 150 miles of range, and I've averaged 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour, so almost exactly on a par with the i4. Why is this Ioniq not more efficient? Where's the efficiency from this aero? I'm not sure. Okay, well, let's hear about efficiency. Andrew, I suspect you've got some better number for us.
Yeah, the foregone conclusion, 55% remaining, 185 miles of range and 223 watt hours per mile consumption.
Okay, so battery percentage not far off, but remember that's actually just slightly a smaller battery compared to the latest long range. So that watt hours per mile translates to basically 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour. So as ever, Tesla efficiency, quite a lot. These are both at 3.7, that's at 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour. Okay, well look, we're not done yet, we're not charging yet, we're just going to unload a package and then we're going to go get some lunch and then we're going to carry on some more driving. That's lunch break done. Now we're going to head off on the afternoon leg of the journey. Of course, normally you'd do some charging at lunchtime if you were doing lots of more miles, but let's run these cars down a little bit. So I'm in the Tesla now for the moment, and because we want to eliminate maybe drive-in style or something like that. Now this next section is a bit more like country roads, so get a bit of mixture. We're going to go through town and then we'll have some country roads as well. So again, nice little mixture of road conditions for this entire day to get the efficiency overall. Then we'll do some charging, and what I want to do is see which one can get back up to something like 80%, the quickest, not 90%. We'll see how we go. And that'd be quite interesting because, again, the Hyundai's 800 volt architecture, it should charge really fast. However, we have found before that it's quite temperature sensitive, so maybe it won't charge as fast. But it's 18 degrees Celsius, it's quite a warm day, so it should be pretty good. We're going to put the chargers as the destination so they can do any preheating. So I want to go over to Oxford from Cheltenham, and there's Oxford, there's Fastnet chargers, which should give them the opportunity to charge at their maximum speed. Plus there's also the Tesla supercharger, so give this a chance to charge at its maximum speed. So again, I will put this as a destination now. Now the cars have just sat for about an hour whilst we just had lunch, and so they would have cooled down a bit. So again, a chance to see whether they take a while to come up to battery temperature and get efficiency and stuff like that. But anyway, just waiting for these guys to get their navigation sorted out. And over here, their navigations are not as easy to use as the Tesla, has to be said. So I can quickly pop my one in now, won't take me a second, and very easy it is too. So, second leg of the day, let's see how we get on. This isn't as easy on those cars, I don't know why it just isn't. And actually, as I sat here, so we're going to cut across the Cotswold in the A40, the Tesla's already says now preconditioning battery for fast charging. It's already started doing that now. And we've still got an hour and 7 minutes drive to get there, 43 miles. So, I don't know. We'll get underway once they've got their navigation input sorted. This is entering sat-nav in anything that's not a Tesla. You can do that while you're driving, yeah? Can you not filter EV charging stations, then zoom out?
One eternity later.
Right, so we've pretty much given up on trying to input Fastnet rapid chargers into the Hyundai. It's just not easy or simple to use. The Tesla, you can just show chargers, look at the map and pick it. I mean, it's easy. But nonetheless, let's get going now, because I don't think it can do it. So definitely points down on that. Right, let's check these boys are ready. Okay, so inputting Fastnet rapid chargers Oxford's nigh impossible in the Hyundai, we've all agreed, but we're going to lose so much time trying, so let's go. Follow me. There's a crash around the streets of Cheltenham. You don't realise how bumpy the Model 3 is in comparison to the Hyundai and the BMW. They're much smoother cars than this. The Model 3 is a bit of a firm one. It's okay on the motorways, but around town, pothole streets, yeah, it is stiff. It is stiff by comparison. It's a sharper steering, but yeah, it's a common complaint, it's just a bit firm. Now, interestingly, we've only just left. We've still got an hour and 7 minutes until we get to the chargers. 42 miles to go, but the Tesla's already preheating for fast charge, so it's actually using energy to heat the battery so it charges faster in over an hour's time. It seems a little bit premature to me, to be honest, because it's going to obviously have a bit of a dent on its efficiency overall. But that's what it is. This is how it works. This is real life. So if anything, the Hyundai's at the advantage here because we can't even put the rapid charger into its nav, so that probably is going to preheat, which might affect its charging. But I mean, again, what can we do? It's real world. It just doesn't exist in its nav by the seems of it. So when we're nearby, we'll sort of see if we can find chargers. But on the face of it, the BMW, I don't know if it's going to tell us when that starts preheating. We'll just have to see how the efficiency goes and how quickly they then charge. So if we then do a race up to either 80 or 90%, I normally only go to 80%, it probably depends how busy the charger is. It'd be interesting to see which one gets there first, wouldn't it? I've jumped back in we're cutting across the A40 in the Cotswolds, and I've jumped in the Ioniq again now. And yeah, smoother and quieter, that's for sure. So what I've managed to do is I managed to find another charger in Oxford, so another rapid charger. So it doesn't know about the Fastnet one by the look of it, but there's another one. So if it can preheat, then it will do so. I don't know if it's going to tell me if it will, but it is set to charger. So they're all an even kill in terms of the opportunity to preheat if they can. So in theory, all three should. So a quick sum up of the Ioniq 6 drive. It's refined, it's quiet, it's comfortable, rides well. The steering's okay, it's a little bit lifeless. It kind of does a pretty good job. If you start pushing on, you'll find the limits of it. It does lean more than something like the Tesla, for example. Of course, that's the trade-off for the ride comfort. And if you switch sides, it just doesn't quite have the body control, of course. Again, it's a softer car, so it just doesn't have that. But generally, it's a refined, comfortable, quiet, very nice place to be in here. It feels good quality, steering wheel feels nice quality, seats are comfortable. I've got a longer seat base than the Tesla, which is nice, although it's not thigh adjustable. The i4's actually got adjustable thigh support, which is nice to have. Head-up display is quite reasonable to have, although with sunglasses that are polarised like this, I actually can't really see it. Oh, this is a pretty little bridge here in the Cotswolds. So I get distracted. This is very nice. And it's very nice, you know. It does a bit of everything quite well. If you want to push on a bit, it's got a turn of speed to it, but it's mainly geared up for comfort and refinement. It does that quite well indeed. So it's all good, but its downside, its Achilles heel, has got to be the software system. It's just so out of date compared to what's generally out there now, especially compared to a Tesla. If you don't know the full address or postcode of somewhere, and I want to look for some, for example, Redbridge Park and Ride, it doesn't know it's not there. Fastnet doesn't know it's not there. It's got some company places and points of interest, but it's just not quite there. And certainly not with a Tesla. It's just super easy. That does it on voice control very easily, or you can just input the name of a place, it finds it instantly and goes there, you know. So this software, Hyundai, this needs to be better. We're in 2023. This can be a lot better, a lot nicer to use, a lot more intuitive. The way you work through menu systems is just out of date now. And so that's probably my biggest gripe from the Ioniq 6 in terms of being in it and driving it. Right, we've just got to the Oxford Redbridge Park and Ride, where there's some chargers, Tesla and Fastnet over there. So before we plug in and have a bit of a recharge race, let's see what we've got. In the Hyundai Ioniq 6, I've got 40% of the battery, 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour is my average, and I've got 109 miles of range left. BMW, what have you got?
Right, I got 38% left in the battery, which is 98 miles of range, and I average 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour.
So that's the same efficiency as this. It's a super aerodynamic car, and yet we've got the same efficiency. Although this is four-wheel drive, that's two-wheel drive, but still, the BMW's done quite an impressive number there. And it's got less battery percent remaining and less miles remaining. So, and that's a bigger battery, so it's obviously allowing it's less efficient. Okay, let's see what the Tesla's got though. Okay, in the Tesla, what have we got?
I have 39% left on the battery, which is giving 129 miles of range, and consumption is 227 watt-hours a mile.
120 miles of range, but the Tesla's a static calculation. 39% of the battery, so one less than this, and it is a smaller battery, but look at that efficiency, 427 watts per mile is basically 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour again. So again, the Tesla is significantly more efficient. Now remember, that is a smaller battery than the very latest Model 3 long ranges, so they are slightly, you probably have 41% if it was a newer battery, to be fair. So as expected, really, Tesla take efficiency, but I'm surprised this isn't more efficient than the BMW. Anyway. Okay guys, in front of us we have some chargers. Now we're going to set our charge limits to 80% and see who gets there the first. The time will start basically now, because if it takes a long while to process the payment and such like, then we might take that into account. But I also want you to check your, hey Gints, wait up, hey, steady on son. We're also going to take into account just the actual pure charging time. So let's see how we got on. 800 volt Hyundai for the win. They've all had a chance to preheat. So here we go. Look, empty chargers. Empty chargers. Should be fine. Right, let's plug in. I'm going to concentrate here. I'm going to mind pedestrians. We're going to delay the Tesla by blocking the road through to the Tesla chargers. Tesla, yours around on the left-hand side there, you've probably seen. So we're just delaying you now by being slow to manoeuvre. Once we've done charging, we'll pull up over there in the order that we finished. You're charging 200 kilowatt? 137 on the Hyundai. Oh, they went to 188 initially. That's pretty good. So Gints delayed himself slightly because he just pulled the thing out without doing the payment thing first. So he rushed himself and delayed himself. Nonetheless, we will take the charging time from this and get the exact charging time of each one. So a 49% battery, it's slowed to 118 kilowatts on the Ioniq, 119 at 50% battery. So 119 at 50% battery. Let's have a look at the BMW. It's flying. What is that? Let's go 168. So see what you get at 50%. That'll be quite interesting. And as for the Tesla's probably beyond that now, so a quick look. Oh, we'll have to the other side here. Tesla is at 50%, 115 kilowatts. So 50%, the Hyundai's taking the win just about. Tesla's doing pretty well though. Okay, we'll just take that one's, the Hyundai's ramping up again now. But let's take, when this gets to 50%, the Hyundai was doing 118 kilowatts. It's going to be more. The Tesla was doing 115 kilowatts. And we'll see what this is doing. So this is actually a bit more steady. But that's, the Hyundai's just ramped up to 140. So 50%, this is doing 132 kilowatts. So the BMW 50% charges quicker than the others. However, this one was ramping up again. So what have we got? Get that back end. So we got, so 57% now 129 kilowatts. So it went down, it's coming back up, now it's coming back down again a bit.
Still quicker though.
Okay, that's at 60%, pulling 130 kilowatts on this. What are you at, Gins? 122. Okay, I'm going to see what the Tesla's at. Tesla's 58% and it's pulling 95 kilowatts. Okay, well, what we'll do is leave it as that for now. And when they finish charging, we're going to go and pull up over there in the order that they finished and got to 80% in. And the BMW did start a little bit behind because again it's messed up the machine, but we'll allow that. We'll take the time off the charger. So we'll see how we go. And this is the order they finished in. Hyundai first, 17.5 minutes, back to 80%. 2 minutes after that was the Tesla Model 3, and with 20 minutes, 29 seconds was the BMW i4. So literally a couple of minutes really to pick between them for the recharging there. All capable of pretty good charging speeds. The BMW 200 kilowatts, these two can do 250 but at the lower states of charge, but really there's not going to be a vast amount to pick between them. For just topping up the higher state of battery, the Hyundai was actually probably the fastest for charging speed on that. What I want to do is take earlier the range distance we covered and the percentage of the battery used and work out their pro rata range. So this recorded 147.5 miles covered and this recorded 151 miles covered. So what I'm going to just do is take the 147.5 miles covered. Now this used 50% of the battery, that's 295 miles of real world range for the Hyundai Ioniq 6 here. The Tesla Model 3 here recorded a pro rata range of 289 miles. Remember, this is a slightly smaller battery compared to the latest ones. If it was the latest version with a slightly bigger battery, it would have covered another 15-20 miles sort of pro rata. That's the difference we found before. So actually that would take this just over 300, about 310 miles of range based on the conditions today. Again, just Tesla efficiency. So pretty good. Then we come to the BMW, 284 miles of real world range. So you can see they're all good cars, all capable of big distances and all capable of fast charging. Which one you prefer, well that's going to be down to yourself really. You probably all decided before you're watching this video, but they're all pretty comparable. It's quite an interesting test, that one. Now what we're going to do is actually, we spent the day in the Ioniq 6, so we're going to film a bit more of a review summary. That's going to come in video number 2, so make sure you're subscribed. That's going to be the things we like and we don't like about each of these cars in case you want to compare them. And we'll show you things like the practicality, boot space, getting in the rear seats, and exactly what we think of the Ioniq 6 in a bit more detail. So stay subscribed and we'll see you on the next video very soon. So one sort of thing that was going through my mind just now as we're filming other bits and pieces is they've gone to all this effort to have this low drag coefficient, and yet it reported the same efficiency as the BMW i4, 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour. However, when the owner looks in his app and sees today's efficiency, it reads 4.08, so just over 4 miles per kilowatt hour, which would be pretty good. And would make sense as well, because this has got less usable battery, used less of the battery percentage to do the journey today. So it would make sense if it was more efficient. So maybe the car's under-reporting its actual efficiency. Why would the app be reporting over 4 miles per kilowatt hour and the car reporting 3.7? I don't quite know. So if anyone has the exact answer to that, again, put that in the comment below. I'd be interested to see that. But maybe this is a bit more efficient than we gave it credit for. Should be really, shouldn't it? Anyway, just a thought.